Topping today's Health Watch, today is World Lung Cancer Day, a time to raise awareness about the leading cause of cancer deaths worldwide. The disease claims the lives of about 370 Americans every day. A new survey by the American Lung Association finds 62% of people are not familiar with life-saving screenings. For those 50 and older with a 20-year history of smoking, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends a CT scan.
You roll through it and a couple times back and forth. So it's scanning your lungs during that. It's a pretty quick procedure, under 10 minutes. Think of it as a 3D x-ray. It's able to, with better resolution, assess findings that might be concerning for lung cancer.
Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer, but other risk factors include asbestos exposure on the job, radon, smoke from cooking or wildfires, and other kinds of air pollution. New research shows Gen Xers and millennials have a higher risk of developing more than a dozen cancers compared to their parents and older generations. Tom Hansen has one cancer survivor's story.
As 35-year-old Chris Lopez enjoys these moments, it's still hard to believe the young dad has battled cancer.
It was a lot to take in. I was, at the time trying to finish college and working.
The chef was experiencing intense stomach pain, bleeding, and weight loss. It was months before he was sent for a colonoscopy. At just 30 years old, he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer that would require chemotherapy and radiation to shrink a grapefruit-sized tumor before surgery. He had to tell his family just before Christmas.
Just thinking how short life is, because you don't know how much time you have left.
A new large study from the American Cancer Society finds Generation X and millennials have a higher risk of developing 17 cancers compared to older generations.
The risk for developing cancer, including colorectal cancer, uterine cancer, liver cancer, and breast cancer. You are more likely to develop cancer in your 30s and 40s if you were born in the 1990s and 1980s than your parents were who were born in the 1950s and 1940s.
What's driving this trend, in your opinion? Do you know?
Yeah, we don't really know. It's likely an environmental aspect, whether that's diet, lack of exercise, some other exposure. And we do think that more research is needed in those areas.
Dr. Bill Dayhut says about 40% of cancers are preventable with certain behaviors, including not smoking and maintaining a healthy weight. He urges young people with persistent symptoms to talk to their doctor.
Don't ignore your symptoms. Get yourself checked. It can save your life, literally.
Lopez had no family history and genetic tests didn't show any risks. His cancer is now in remission, and he's grateful. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
The American Cancer Society says young adults also should know their risk factors, including family history, so they can start screening earlier. Breakthrough new research in DNA repair could help create better cancer treatments in the future. Researchers at the UK's Medical Research Council say they've identified how DNA can repair itself from environmental damage like sun exposure, alcohol use, smoking, pollution. The discovery could help make cancer drugs more effective, especially against cancers that are chemotherapy resistant. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, how the Biden administration is cracking down on junk fees from airlines.
Plus a little bit of a relief from the heat over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, another hot and another humid day for us today. Temperatures up there once again. Most of us mid to upper 90s and our heat indices above 100 degrees like we have seen over the past several days. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's zoom in. 93 in Stockton, 93 in Carthage, 96 in Anderson. Then you got Veneta at 98, 98 in Chanute. Sedan is sitting at 99. We can go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 94. A light northerly wind as a cold front has been rolling through, and this is going to start to drop our humidity just a bit. Still, our dew point's way up there, 70 to about 75. So if we look at our tracker, that puts us into that muggy to soupy range, but this is going to get a little bit better as we go through the next couple days. So heat indices Most of us about 105, upwards to 110, especially once you get into northeastern Oklahoma. Through the evening, we slide back through the 90s, 80s. We bottom out, upper 70s for overnight lows. Pretty much clear skies, but you can see a couple little showers trying to pop up in our southern counties. We are going to get some scattered thunderstorms along that front as we go through the evening. But again, most of us are going to stay dry. These are mainly going to stay in our southern counties. Big dome of high pressure starting to shove back toward the west just a little bit, which gives us a northerly flow out of Canada. And what that does for us is it lowers our humidity just a bit as we go through the next couple days. Now, temperatures, they're still going to be up there, but our humidity gets a little bit better. Isolated showers and thunderstorms in our southern counties as we go through the overnight hours tonight. By morning, a little bit better. We drop back into lower 70s. And then as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, upper 80s by noon, a little bit cooler, most of us, low to mid 90s. 91 in Lamar, 93 in Neosho, Miami 94, up to 93 in Parsons. Tomorrow night, pretty quiet. We back down upper 60s, which is going to be at least somewhat comfortable. And then as we go into Saturday afternoon, temperatures mainly into low to mid 90s, a hair warmer, but still humidity pretty good. In fact, look at our heat indices tomorrow, pretty close to matching our temperatures, and then they creep up a little bit by the time we get into Saturday afternoon. Heat does return, of course, once we go into early next week. Temps back into the upper 90s, and then near 100 degrees once again by the time we get into Tuesday of next week. 93 tomorrow, 94 Saturday, 96 on Sunday. Then we creep up, 99 Monday, and then triple digit heat again, at least near 100 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week.
Looking like August is what it's looking like.
It definitely is. Today's August 1st.
There you go. Thanks, Doug. Excessive heat is back across much of our country, and for the West, that could worsen an already extreme fire season. California fire officials say the Park Fire north of Sacramento, the fifth largest in the state's history, is only 18% contained. It's scorched nearly 400,000 acres, and smoke is drifting into Nevada. Fire officials blame 2 consecutive years of wet winters and mild fire seasons, along with the climate change.
The fuels are just completely dried out. We can't eliminate all grasses from the entire state of California. What we attempt to do is create areas where we could stop a fire when it's still at its initial stage.
Multiple wildfires are also burning in a heavily populated stretch of Colorado, killing at least 1 person and destroying at least 5 homes. Coming up, the push to return to an older style of shaving, all in the name of sustainability. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Biden administration is continuing its crackdown on airline junk fees to help protect families from unfair practices. The proposed rule would ban airlines from charging families fees to seat young children next to a guardian. The rule would also mandate refunds or free rebooking if a family seating is not available. The Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg discussed the plan on CBS Mornings.
The idea is that this would be taken care of long before you get to the gate. This way, within 48 hours of booking, the airline would be required to assign you those seats together. And if they can't come up with that, if it's not available, then they have to offer you the option of getting your money back or being put onto a different flight without having to pay a fare difference where there are those seats together.
4 airlines, American, Alaska, Frontier, and JetBlue, have already banned family seating fees. More people are finding ways to ditch plastic razors and swap them out for a more sustainable option. Environmentalists say the timing couldn't be any better, as more than 2 billion plastic razors end up in landfills nationwide every year. Skylar Henry spoke with several experts who say out with the new and in with the old.
At Henry's Barbershop in the nation's capital, the traditional shave is the standard. shaving cream, warm water, and a single razor. It's a classic combination that Mark Hero, owner of the shaving review site Sharpologist, believes works best.
How often are you shaving?
I generally shave every day.
Hero says one reason he chooses a single blade over all the disposable multiple blade razors on the market is an environmental one.
One advantage of the old school safety razor is you have a single blade by itself that you can simply toss out or recycle as a fully metallic item without any plastic.
The Environmental Protection Agency estimates every year some 2 billion disposable razors are tossed out. That's more than 63 razors going into landfills every second. And it can take 100 years for that plastic to break down. Now, several companies are selling a simple solution, old school razors that don't get tossed. That includes Karen Young's company, We the People.
The sustainability element of that just really went hand in hand.
Her razor is completely plastic free and launched a sustainable skin and body line now found in retail stores nationwide.
Starting with the razor really set a foundation for the business that I actually hadn't quite known was possible.
Opportunities cut from simple concepts that she hopes make a lasting, environmentally friendly impact. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, meet the young people breaking into an old industry, farming. See the programs helping sow the seeds for a new generation to take over. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more tips to keep your elderly neighbors safe during the intense heat. Plus, the McDonald County Health Department celebrates National Health Center Week. And a Parsons High School baseball standout commits to play for an area college. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The heat is going to be with us for a while.
It is. The humidity is going to drop a little bit as we go into the weekend, which is good news, but still hot. And 93 tomorrow, 94 Saturday, 96 on Sunday. And then we creep back up near that triple-digit mark by next week.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.